Welcome, gathered friends, and thank you for joining us once again as we light the lantern and begin another adventure. Tonight, we will be playing Era of the Dragons, our D&D homebrew world. My name is Archangelic, or Mal, and my pronouns are she, her, and tonight I'm going to be your game master. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. We'll start with you, Silver.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as over on YouTube. And today I am playing Fenxiris Roxalar, a gem dragonborn rogue slash cleric. I was about to say wizard. I'm confused about which dragonborn I am, apparently. Any rate, and she uses she, her pronouns. I use he, they pronouns.
Levi.
Hello, I am Levi, and today I shall be playing Torsten Pinewalker, the half-elf armor artificer, and we both use he/they pronouns.
Tara.
Hi, my name is Tara. My pronouns are she, her, and tonight I'll be playing a chromatic dragonborn wizard named Merlin Hendrix, whose pronouns are he, his.
And Jaden.
Hello, friends. My name is Soliloquy Jaden, and I use they, them pronouns. You can find me most places online as FatSapphicBro. I'll be playing the tiefling barbarian named Grief. Grief uses he, they pronouns and also uses a combat wheelchair. I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user, and so I like playing with one in game. The combat wheelchair is designed by Mark Thompson. You can find them on Twitter at the username Mustangs Art, and the info is linked in the chat. Welcome back to our space here at Lantern Light Adventures. This is home to all of our TTRPG and related content on Twitch. All of our games are also uploaded to our Lantern Light Adventures YouTube channel. There's a link to our link tree in the chat right now. You can click on that. It'll take you to all of our various social media pages, so you can follow us everywhere we are. If you want to keep up to date with everything we're doing, you can also feel free to join our Discord, which is also linked in the chat. Thanks for joining us for Era of the Dragons, our D&D 5e actual play set in Mal's homebrew world. We stream this game most Sundays from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. PST. As for where you can find us the rest of the week, most Mondays from 6 to 9 p.m. PST, we stream It Waits for No One, a modern fantasy tale. This is our Montacook Games Cypher System actual play. We collaboratively built the world together using I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic, and this world building session will be a Patreon exclusive. Most Tuesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. PST, we stream An Empty Dream. That's our Girl by Moonlight actual play. We also record an audiocast after show for each of our games where we go over any necessary advancement steps and debrief from the game. You can listen to these for free on Patreon at patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. All of these after shows will always be free, but we appreciate any contributions and support as it helps us continue to bring you awesome queer content. Speaking of Patreon, if you're not a paid patron, please consider signing up. Our lowest tier starts at $1 and will unlock all of our Patreon exclusive content, including the world building session for It Waits for No One, a modern fantasy tale. Just as a reminder, each month we take the last 7 days of the month off so we can edit and prepare for more content for y'all, as well as have a bit of a break to handle our day-to-day responsibilities. If you would like to play a TTRPG GM'd by Mal, she will be jamming a one-shot session of Mothership on startplaying.games as a part of Mothership Month. If you want to sign up, you can go to our link tree, click on the link called Mal Start Playing referral code. This will get you a $10 credit. Then you can go back to our link tree, click on the link called In a Blue Moon, a Mothership one-shot with Mal to sign up. Aggressive sliding scale is available, so if money is a problem at all, please, please, please reach out to Mal and she will work with you. This is going to be a sci-fi horror themed game. Think aliens, Event Horizon, etc. So if that's your jam, sign up. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us on any of the social media platforms and I'll help you get set up. And finally, in support of a free Palestine, we will be sharing the GoFundMes for various families. The first family we are trying to help is the Masood family. Dahlia and her husband Rami and their 4 children are in great need. Dahlia and Rami worked as pharmacists but have since lost their home and pharmacy. Their goal is currently set at 50,000 euros and they have raised 38,838 euros as of this afternoon. Any help and support you can offer would be amazing. Their GoFundMe is linked in the chat and is also on our link tree. Thanks so much, friends.
Excellent. Thank you for those announcements. Without further ado, let's get back into this. You stand now on a flying fortress, a magical and architectural wonder of giant origin. This is the vessel that once held the ill-gotten hoard of the Restoration, the gathered treasures intended to be an offering to Tiamat. But now, as you fly towards destinations unknown, treasures spill over the realms from the bowels of this fortress, the heroic feat of one Badger Jr. After picking off the guards on the wall that protect the perimeter of this fortress, You attempted to take another rest, but were quickly found by the bearer of the white crown, a vicious dwarven man, Billy Bob Bones. In his last stand, took position between you and your assailants and told you to run, and you did. In an attempt to finish this all, you approached the control room of this flying fortress. The giant stone doors opened before you at the command of a knock spell. But that is not actually where we begin. We need to take a step back. On the causeway, Merlin. As the battle ensues around you, your allies fighting cultists, unicorn teleporting across the field, goring enemies, a portal opens up before you, and it's as though time sort of stops around you. A woman with thick-rimmed glasses, wild hair, robes of a wizard, though wrapped in too many scarves. She peeks out of the portal and says, "Oh, well, hey, you aren't quite what I was expecting when Larry told me about you. Nonetheless, we have things to find." And she reaches her hand out to you as if to come with her. What do you do, Merlin?
Merlin goes with her.
All right. She takes your hand. You are pulled through a portal. You where once you were in this cold air, now it feels warm and humid. You think maybe you're somewhere tropical, but you look at the trees and they're the wrong colors. They are purples and greens and blues, and things seem a little strange. There are a group of very small dragons that fly on the path before you. There is a field of fuchsia grass that stands before you. There is a makeshift tent and camp in front of you. Magus Larry, the one you asked to get a staff for you, is in front of the camp. His beard has grown quite considerably since the last time you saw him, which was a couple of days ago. And he kind of peeks around, he sees you, he waves from afar, and the woman with you, she says, "Oh, yes, introductions should be in order. I am Karis. I know you're not quite the religious type, but I am a goddess, so no need to be weird in my presence, and I'm just like you." And but Magus Larry, he contacted me a while back, and I've been keeping an eye on your quest and the whole situation you have going. It's very fascinating. It's going to make for some interesting finds and maybe even accelerate magic in ways that I could only have dreamed of. And now we have an attempt to find something that has been missing for so long, and I love finding things. Do you like finding things?
Yeah, what could it be?
Well, I am so glad you asked. Magus Larry was looking for a staff, and I have quite the staff. And she will walk you over to the camp. Larry is there and says, and he kind of gives you a bow, Merlin, and he says, "Oh, it's been too long. How have you been? How's it going?"
Oh, all right.
"Oh, yeah. So I've been on a quest. Oh, how long has it been?" Karis says, "Well, again, Larry, we've discussed this. I know that with all the time, it's been a little strange. The time dilation is odd here in Fairy, but we've been here in Fairy for about a year, looking for the last remnants of this staff. But in your realm, I think it's only been a couple of days, if I felt the time dilation correctly."
Awesome.
So, this is the field that I believe the last hero who bared your staff broke it and left its remnants here, but I think we can reconstitute it. And she says, now, this is a very important staff. And I do have to ask, what is going on that you requested such a staff? You seem like a powerful wizard. What is it you're looking for? I'm always interested in what someone is trying to find when they set out and when they give someone a quest or set out on a quest. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for something great and shiny to possess.
She seems like actually overjoyed by that answer. She's like, "Ooh, so many people are like glory, magic, powers untold, shiny things. Fantastic! I love finding shiny things." And she goes off and she will grab a couple of shovels and she says, "Well, if we need to find shiny things, we got to start digging. This field isn't gonna excavate itself." And you spend months out here digging, excavating, cataloging. You actually find that this place is just chock full of like magical doodads and baubles and things. This seems to be a perennial battlefield. You tell the story of multiple battles between mages, great parties that fought massive creatures here, archfey, wars between Fey groups happen on this field, and you just get to catalog and tell this story until you get to a layer of this excavation, you, Larry, and Karis, and you find the headpiece to a staff. Larry and Karis had already found 3 pieces of this staff before you had got here, but just with the time and everything, they kind of got carried away and then realized that you should probably be brought on to this, as it will be your staff. But you find this staff. I would like you to roll me an Arcana check. You can do so at advantage because there's time.
So, 24.
24. Okay. You look at it and you can see initially you find it in the dirt. You spend time polishing it, and as you are polishing it, you give it a little bit of magic every single time. You cast spells over it, you look at its runes, and you eventually see that it is made of one solid piece of quartz, almost grown like it was grown to be a staff itself. You can feel the crystals align in it, and you start to pull out as you polish and clean this over the weeks after you find this headpiece. And you can feel the structures of the crystals. You begin mending the portions of this staff together. Why don't you describe for me, as you start attuning for this staff starts to reflect your magic. It's almost like these crystals react to you in a way. What does the staff end up looking like as you fully reconstitute this staff?
Yes, the head is surrounded by half moons. The center has a big red stone of some kind that glimmers or reflects with green. Um, there, it's the part where you actually hold on to it is gold, and that's about it. It's quite simple, and it's very shiny.
Yeah, absolutely. The crystals begin to form in the way that you perceive your magic, the way you want your magic to be perceived. You tell the staff, I want to look a certain way. Maybe even subconsciously you do this. But as you're cleaning and repairing this, uh Karis and Larry, of course, help you and kind of guide you on these practices here. And as they continue to also just revel in the mass of finds that they have here. But you, as your time begins to come to a close here, the staff starts to resonate with so much magic. And you will see on your sheet, you already have a staff of the Magi. And you feel that all the spells it gives you access to, you can feel the magic that so many mages have born before you and have put into this staff and have honed it. And everything that comes from here, it's as if you refract the light around you in order to channel it back into magic. It almost glows imperceptibly, always.
Pretty awesome.
Harris says, now, an item like this contains so much power. As a last-ditch effort, and many mages have done this before you, if you break it, it will unleash all of that magic all at once
Oh
and
my.
fling the pieces across the multiverse again. Now, it's a burden to bear, but I think you will do just fine. I'm glad to have met you, Merlin.
Glad to have met you too.
Larry, and in this time you've become closer with Larry, and you've gotten to understand his, that there was nothing more that Larry ever wanted in his life than to just be able to be somewhere and look at magic items all day, look at these artifacts, restore them. But instead, he had to become a working wizard and live up in the north selling potions that he brewed in his backyard. And he's fine to return to that now. But so he revels in your staff being completed, but there's a bittersweet note in his look at you, as he knows that this little bit of adventure is going to come to an end. And he says to you, he says, it's truly been an honor to work beside you.
Merlin has tears streaming down his face and agrees that working with you was just the greatest thing ever.
He, whereas when you first met him, this was kind of a professional endeavor, but you've become friends over your weeks here. And for the first time, he drops the like professional pretense, and he just gives Merlin a hug. Like he just pulls you in tight, like full, like the beard like bushes up and into your face, because he hasn't cut it the entire time he's here. That was not his main concern. So it's just like a face full of beard is now hugging you. Paris, she pulls out some sort of little metal device. It glows and has words on it. It's it's like the size of her palm, but it's round. It almost looks like it should be like a compact mirror or something like that, but it's different. It's magic that you cannot even in this moment comprehend. She has in her hand, and she says, ah, good. We finished just in time. I know it's the time dilation. It's going to be jarring. Try not to think about it too much. And she will take both of your hands, and you find yourself on a stairwell. In front of you are your friends, Fen, Grief, Torsten, and Elric. Behind you all, as the doors are opening from the knock spell, you hear a portal opening behind you. And there is and Merlin is here, and so is Karis.
Merlin, great. We were just about to. That's actually way less time than I would have thought. Yeah.
Hello, it's nice to see you all again.
Likewise.
Welcome
you
back.
go?
Can you shut that door?
Yeah, you all see that Merlin has a very, very shiny, new ornate staff. And Karis just looks at all of you and says, I hope you find what you are looking for. And if you can't, please give me a call. And she doesn't say her name or anything, and then she just snaps her fingers and blimps out of existence.
But who are... Okay. You know what?
Huh.
Questions later. Questions later.
Yeah.
The door is opening.
Mhm.
There's a giant in there. We're going to have to figure this out later.
Yeah. Everybody in, and we gotta shut that door as soon as we can. Once we are in there.
Yep.
Glad you're back, though.
Go, go, go,
Mhm.
go.
Good. Great.
Elric's like, yeah, it's really good to meet you, and is like kind of pushing you, Merlin, into the door with the rest of them. Like kind of taking up the rear. And you see, to describe what you're seeing, Merlin, there are two basically double doors in front of you, 30 feet high, made of stone, easily a foot thick, full of giant runes, runes in the language of giants, that were sealing it shut. But you're a trained wizard, you know that this has been opened by magic. You can see you can feel the residue off of it. They've opened a door that was magically locked. But now you are being pushed in with the rest of them. You all enter this chamber. Before you, in this room, it is massive. It is 30 feet high in here. It's as if there is not a wall on the outside. There is just, you can see the entirety of the landscape in front of you. You see that portions of the wall are almost like zoomed in, like it's like part of the terrain has been pulled into view and pulled out of view. There is a massive throne or chair in this room. It's hard to say. It's not ornate. It is fairly plain, but everything is just etched with magic in this room. There is a massive person in this chair. You think if they stood up, they would be 20 feet tall. Her long hair is stark white. It is braided in two braids that go down her back. There is a panel, a table full of symbols and levers and things that she is pushing, things that she is touching, things that she is magically activating. She has not noticed you. She has not, the door opening hasn't seemed to phase her or stop her from what she is doing. She is wearing something that almost makes it look like it is made of woven silver. It is, you can tell it's both woven, but it's metallic and reflective and iridescent in places. It's like a jumpsuit made of this. The lining around the neck, though, is fur of a creature that you don't know, a creature large enough to get a pelt that big. Her skin is a light blue, and she looks at the wall facing outwards that is not a wall, but is also, it's hard to conceptualize for you in this moment. But she says, "What do you need now?" And her voice rumbles through this room.
Okay, DM, was that in common?
It was in common.
Ah, excellent.
Good.
Brief just kind of makes eye contact with everyone, like, who's going to address this big lady?
I'm gonna just pass a quick message to Merlin in everybody's head, but just a quick catch up here. We don't really want to fight this giant. They are leading this. They're driving this fortress. They've been convinced that what they're doing is a good thing for all giant kind. We're going to try to convince her otherwise. I think we should let Torsten handle this.
Got it.
After being voluntold, Torsten.
Oh, and Merlin, can you help me shut this door while Torsten's handling this?
Merlin waves his arms and casts some kind of magic to make the door close.
You now have access through your staff to the arcane lock spell.
Ooh.
Oh, sweet.
Which
Okay,
you think, given the size of these doors, you think like, oh, magic's the only way anyone's going to close this. Y'all can't close these doors.
He's pretty strong. I don't know. He could handle it.
Yeah.
I tried to convince Mal of this. I was like, are you sure I can't roll for that? Because
Yeah, do you want to roll? Can you hit a DC 30?
Can I? Can I is the question. Would it be in athletics, or would it be like a straight strength, or what
It
is
would
it?
be, I would give you athletics.
Okay. I have a +5 in athletics, so
I could hit a DC 30 if I could stealth the door closed.
So yeah,
super
no.
quietly.
Grief, you're like, you kind of push at it just to get a feel of how heavy these doors are. I mean, like,
I can push, drag, or lift 630 pounds, which is
each of these doors are probably a ton,
boo.
at least. So
Not quite that strong, y'all.
All right.
Now with that attitude.
Maybe one day.
So Merlin, you're up on that. Torsten, all you, bud.
Torsten will.
Oh wait, hold on 1 second. Before Torsten does anything, can I? Let me see.
Oh, as I say, all you, bud. By the way, speaking of guidance.
Yeah, I'm gonna pat Torsten on the back and do bolstering magic. So, for 10 minutes, you can roll a D3 whenever making an attack roll or an ability check, and add the number rolled to your D20 roll.
All right. So let's see here. Roll.
You got this, buddy.
Yeah, Torsten will just step up and just call out, like nod to Grief and Fen, swagger up and say, "Hey there."
she, not recognizing the voice, she's facing away from you, like the door is to her back. And so she like, you hear the like creak of the chair she's in as she like turns herself to look at whoever is in this room. She observes you, and with a kind of look of disgust, she says, "And who the fuck are you?"
As she like actually properly looks at him, kind of on the back foot. My name is Torsten Pinewalker. My associates and I have been dealing with the restoration for several months now, and we have reason to believe that this is not in your best interest.
Go ahead. I'm going to have you go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
Alrighty. I have a +1. So just roll that first. Not good. I'm gonna roll my 1d4 plus 1d3. How's a 12 do it?
It's it's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. So I think you're fine. She she sighs and says some curse in giant, and she goes back to piloting. She says, another person here to tell me my interests, just like that small thing that thinks he's a large thing.
Small thing that thinks he's a large thing.
Yes, he wears a white crown. He's quite annoying.
Oh, that one. Yes, well, we actually our main goal is to stop this from happening, but think of it this way. The mage, she's explained to us that you believe that the that inciting the Queen of Dragons will shake your kinfolk out of complacency, correct?
Oh, the one that reeks of death.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That one's wily. She has plans within plans. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her, and I can throw her quite far.
I could not, and I still do not trust her that well either. But was she lying to me?
In this instance, she was not lying to you. But in many instances, she probably did.
That tracks.
Her countenance changes a little bit. She says, she continues to do what she's doing here. She continues to pilot this thing, and she says, there are things you do not live long enough to understand. When my people left here long ago after fighting the dragons for generations, we found comfortable places. We found good places. Places where our will was unmatched. And she says to you, now the giants sit in their castles, a slave labor of the people of the worlds we inhabit, complacent, opulent. She says, almost like she wants to spit at the word. They have their parties, they have their jewelry, their fine clothes made on the backs of whatever peons they come across. And that is our right. We are giants. But that's not enough. We were warriors. We conquered. And now we just oppress.
If this does manage to rouse them, and that is already a substantial if, even if you do manage to rouse them, as you said, they've gone complacent. Their taste for battle has atrophied. meanwhile, the dragons have been on this home turf and have been conquering quite handily in the last a few weeks, or, rather, in the last week or so. I'm no tactician, but rousing a effectively dormant army against a rather warmed up force on their home turf does not sound like a fight that I would back.
She says, the war is not the point. A new giant hasn't been born in 3 centuries. We will die. And it's because we have no place. The magic of this world was where we were born. We needed to survive, but we don't want to go back here. Life was hard here. But glory is something that speaks to giants. And maybe if we have some source of glory, we will come back here and we will be a people again.
They're working in the span of centuries. I'm acting in the span of minutes. Is this truly the... Does it have to be this fight? Does it have to be this specifically? Because if this stops, the Restoration's forces will scramble, but will allocate the power elsewhere. Like sand, as you push down in one place, the rest of it will push upwards. I'm not asking you to quit your efforts entirely, far from it. But this right now, stopping this is that's all that I'm asking for you.
She seems confused. She says, she actually turns back to you and looks at all of you. She says, are you not with the ones who summoned me?
Fuck no.
Yeah, we are concerned about what they are doing to our world. Let me make a proposal for you. You think that the dragons getting the fortress is going to be enough to wake up the giants from their slumber. The problem with that, as I see it, is that one of your greatest enemies is given a larger weapon or a piece of armor that you don't want them to have. But would it not be as maddening for your fellow giants if this were to crumble and fall? What if the dragons didn't have it, but neither did the giants, and they think the dragons are to blame?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
That's a 5.
Can I help in a way to give her advantage?
I will say you have advantage because right now, like,
Okay.
Torsten with the fuck no was like, that's the help here.
Okay, and it's an 18 then.
An 18?
Woo!
Okay. She will stand up, and like I said, she is 24 feet high. But she comes down to you. She kneels down on one knee and looks at you. She says, of course a dragon would want this world to themselves. What do you propose? How will you help me and the way the Restoration, they seem to have resources, power, access to magic. What will you give me to achieve my goal of bringing the giants back here?
You could be heroes to us. We are nothing. You could wipe us out in seconds. But you could be heroes to us. To our kind, to our people.
You're proposing an alliance with giants?
Why not?
An alliance and something more of, honestly, the era of dragons has already begun. We've seen the destruction that they've brought. If you come sweeping in, if this does wake up all of the giants, and I think, again, the destruction of this fortress is as good as the dragons having the fortress, if they think the dragons are to blame. If the giants aid us in ridding our lands of the dragons and fighting back against the dragons, and yes, we will fight alongside you, but there will be songs in your names. Your names will be spoken of as highly as anything, because you have saved all living creatures that are not dragons from the tyranny of those dragons.
He considers you. So you are of the belief that there is another way to do this. There is a way that I can save my people and not give these dragon worshippers what they desire. Would your kings, would your rulers, your holy churches, would they agree to this?
Not unanimously, but all of them are in need of allies.
There is something powerful to be said about a group of... The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Have you heard that statement before?
We have a version of that in our language, yes.
Obviously, there are at least one king, if not multiple, that are deeply allied with the dragon and this dragon cult. But they are trying to destroy every kingdom that it does not follow them, which there are several. So every kingdom that is not directly allied with the dragon cult will be delighted to see you fighting dragons. That I can guarantee.
You are all exceedingly brave and exceedingly stupid.
Yes.
I appreciate this. She will reach out one finger to you as a gesture of almost goodwill, and she says, I am Eastrid. I am the chief shipwright of the Cloud Giants. I built this fortress.
Truly impressive.
It is quite impressive. My name is Fenxiris, of the Dragonborn of the Mountains. These are my friends. Torsten, you've chatted with. And of course, we have Grief hanging out over there. And Merlin. And we think we would be honored to aid you in stopping the dragons and beginning this battle to save giant kind.
I can agree to this. But I will hold you to your promises, or I will crush you beneath my feet. Is that an agreement we can come to?
Works for me.
You got it.
Fenxiris will put out her hand to shake the finger.
She says she will like do a small gesture, and she will stand to her full height again. She says, "Well, what do you propose we do now? We cannot let them have this fortress. I never truly intended to let them have it, but my plans were folly, and I think you have brought me a better plan. So I would like to hear it through. What do you propose we do now?"
We need to make it look realistic that dragons attacked the fortress and thus why it crashed. Merlin, I know, has certain spell capabilities that might make it look like some sort of damage, and obviously between the two of us we can cause some damage on our own, but I would say if you send this towards a mountain, we get off of it safely, and we can follow it. There's a couple of wyverns we can take. We're gonna have to get past some people, but we can get some wyverns. We can follow the destruction and attack it to make it look like dragons were the cause of the crash. But we'll need to sell it.
This is clever for someone with such a small brain. And she will touch some things on the panel. She says, "I can camouflage the ruins of this however I need to. However, I do need a co-pilot. This was never intended to be a one-person craft, but that foolish wizard only brought me through. Who amongst you understands the arcane?"
All eyes shift towards Merlin.
Yep. Just Torsten will pull out whatever the book was that he was given. It's like, we got this. We got a quite capable wizard.
What say you, wizard? Will you help me crash this fortress?
Sure.
she that gets a full belly laugh. Which rumbles in this space, like you feel it echo off of every wall, and she says, let's do it then. And she calls you something. She says a phrase in giant you don't quite understand, and she will gently pick you up, Merlin. Her hand like kind of wraps around you. Basically, she is 4 feet, 4 times larger in every dimension than you are, but proportionately she's humanoid. But she picks you up with her hand and puts you on the control panel. And there is arcane symbolism everywhere. She is explaining some things to you, and you are starting to get the concepts of what powers this place, but I still need you to make an Arcana check at advantage.
23.
23, excellent. Yes, so you understand that this panel is split between the navigational capabilities, the defensive capabilities, and then there is there's another panel that is basically the automation of this place. It was meant to sustain a large group of giants magically, so that there are unseen servants and everything like that. There are unseen internal protections in this place. And then there is the outward defenses that. And as she's explaining, she's telling you, she says, I would never tell those restoration fools what kind of power this fortress truly has. And as she presses, like, you hear rumbling from other parts of this fortress as one of the towers reconfigures and a massive cannon, like, extends from it. And she is doing all sorts of things, but she is showing you the control so that you can control the defenses and the camouflage of this fortress. You can choose to show it as she is continuing to make sure that the navigation works, and she's laying in a course for a crash. And as you are working together on this, that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break. So we will be back in 10 to 15 minutes. We hope to see you there. And welcome back, everybody. Merlin, you have the entirety of this panel at your disposal. You see that it has access to powerful illusion magics, permanency in this illusion magic as well. There is the ability to transmute different parts of the fortress. Basically, you've been tasked with setting up this to look like it was attacked by dragons when it crashes. How do you want to go about doing that? What kind of damage do you want to give this castle?
What are the options for this?
This thing is powerful enough. It's everything short of a wish spell. So, like, you have massive ability. There is shape. You can see where there's just like normal shaped stone. There is illusion magics. You can see that there are ways to even like set up the equivalent of a magic mouth spell to like give an announcement to a specific part of the fortress. There's all sorts of controls at your disposal. But,
so it needs to look like it's been attacked by dragons.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can we add some claw marks on the sides of the walls?
Absolutely. Yeah. You access one of the runes, and like you don't understand what. Do you speak giant by any means?
I do not.
Okay, that's fine. You've been explained what all the runes are, and you understand the layout of magic and magical runes enough to understand what this should do. You interface with it, and you've done illusion magic before. You know what that feels like to have the power to make what you visualize happen. And as you are visualizing it, the wall that's in front of you, that's not a wall, shows like a third person view of the castle of this fortress. And you can see the damage you are creating on it in real time apply to the fortress. She says, very good. You can do more. Make it convincing.
Okay. Make the walls look as if it's been bludgeoned by boulders.
Yeah, and you see that like it starts to look like that. In fact, you're hearing the stone shift like as part of the fortress. Like this is happening in real time. You are giving battle damage in real time to the actual fortress. What are the rest of you doing as Merlin and this giant are setting all of this up?
First of all, keep up doing whatever you're doing. Are you going to be able to, once you get this thing set, leave your seat, or will you have to guide this all the way in?
I will be able to set a course. It will be automated.
Okay, good, because we all want to escape from here and not get hurt in the crash. I'm gonna Fen's gonna go over to the door and listen in and see how much activity she can hear and try to identify how many people they're gonna have to deal with.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ah, the dreaded perception check. Here we go. Oh! Wow. That's a first, I swear. That is a 20. Dirty 20.
Okay. You are listening through the door, and you can hear that there is the faint sound of someone pounding on the door. But this door is so large, you don't think they're going to get through it in any specific amount of time, but you do know there is someone on the other side trying to get in. It's hard to tell given how thick the door is, but sorry, Eastrid will she will press something on the panel and the door becomes transparent. You don't think you're perceived, but you can see on the other side there's only 3 cultists on the other side. They have a battering ram, but it's meant for like a human-sized door, it's not a siege weapon. It's like a hand one that they're trying to 2 people are trying to use it to get the door open. And you reach out to it and you're just touching stone. It feels like stone cold, but it's transparent now.
Ben is just testing it out. She's waving to see if their eyes follow her hand.
Yeah. It's like you're not there to them.
Okay.
Sweet.
Hey.
Always have visualization on your exits.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Okay, so just
at what
3.
point
That's
do
not
we
too
need to exit ourselves?
She says, she finishes pushing a few things. She says, I can give you 30 minutes.
I mean, we know where the wyverns are. We should be able to get there.
Well, and we have those potions too, if we want to just...
Oh, that's right. I forget about the potions.
Mm-hmm.
because that would be pretty quick.
Yeah, that would go through the door and past these three. So
Although, if we can like release them so they're not like we don't need to kill a bunch of wyverns for no reason.
yeah,
And make sure, I don't know if Billy is still down there or if he has found
Right.
a way out or.
You need me to kill those dragon fiends.
Yeah, we were gonna actually write them out first. Was kind of our thought, just but we also have an alternative, where we don't need to.
We are going to ride those people there.
no, those.
Oh
three,
no! Oh, sorry, the dragon fiends.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I thought you were referring to the wyverns as dragon fiends. My mistake. Sorry.
Those
Sorry,
three,
common is not my first language.
Oh,
The cultists.
all good.
Yeah.
Misunderstanding on my part. We would be delighted to have your help. It looks like there's only 3 of them right here. My main concern right now is, what is your exit strategy? Do you have
Yeah.
I don't
that's what
like.
I was
I've never
wondering.
seen a flying fortress before. Is there an escape pod for you that you can use?
I am capable of flight.
Oh,
Ah, that works.
wonderful.
fantastic.
My people are lords of the clouds.
That makes sense. All right.
Right.
You know
right.
what? That makes sense.
Sorry. You're the first cloud giant I've ever met. Probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway. I'm gonna awkwardly go away now.
Just
She doesn't notice how awkward you're being at all. Giant woman.
Okay, so maybe we should make our way down to the wyverns just to let them go.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think once
And then poof
Once
ourselves.
once Eastrid and Merlin have everything set, ready to go, we'll exit together, strengthen numbers and all that, and work our way down.
Fair.
Merlin, did I understand correctly? You're causing the illusions.
Yeah.
Don't forget multiple dragons, so multiple types of elemental damage would be good to really sell it.
Got it. Got it.
Some fire damage, some
Yeah.
acid damage.
Elric has just been like completely in awe of what he's seeing. Like he's just sitting in the corner, like, yeah, okay, this is where I am today.
Torsten is taking mental notes. In last ask Elric. So how long are these potions supposed to last?
Oh, Billy didn't say. I think they last long enough. Let me think. And he's looking through like a book. It's mostly like metallurgy, but it has like other like alchemical things in it, and he's kind of like trying to. You clearly see him like reaching into his well of knowledge. You can go ahead and roll an Arcana check yourself, though.
That is a 22.
22. With the 22, you come to the conclusion it should last about an hour.
Yeah.
Once you take it, it'll turn you into a gas cloud, and then it'll last about an hour.
Yeah, most potions like these last about an hour. I think we can stop the effect ourselves if we'd like. Not certain on that last one though. But pop these now. Get past these 3. Get to the wyverns. Sound plan.
Well, we won't be able to, well, I guess we could fly the, we're trying to fly the wyverns off after that then?
Mhm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eastrid and Merlin, you finish up what you're doing here, and you have added all this elemental damage to the the exterior of this fortress, and Eastrid picks you up again and pulls you close and says, "You're quite a knowledgeable magic user. Even in my measure, the Cloud Giants are the greatest magic users this world has ever known. And even though you are a dragon, I have appreciated working with you."
My pleasure.
And she very gingerly sets you down on the ground, like you would an old puppy or an old dog. Old puppy, that works too.
They're all puppies, Bron. Are they, like, looking out the door here through the transparent door? Are they still knocking at it with the ram?
Yes.
Okay.
Eastrid will approach, and she kind of waits for you to get out of her way.
For sure. Real quick, Eastrid. This will be good for a laugh. Wait until they're about to ram the door and open it right as they're trying to ram it.
Yes.
They'll be falling forward, it'll be hilarious.
This will be an excellent jape. And like, you see she's looking, and she like has her hand on the handle, which you can't reach. It's 15 feet up. And she waits and pulls the handle. They run into the room, and they miss a beat. One of them stumbles and falls, and Eastrid gets very close to them. This is, "Today you shall die," and like just palms one of them, like it was an insect.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna try to disarm more than anything, whichever one is nearest to me.
Well, you are close enough that you get splattered after this her initial attack on one of them. Like, she just smashes one of them with her palm, and yeah, you're welcome to disarm them, but she thought she was handling this, so she is
She's taking care of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's go find Billy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You hear the shouts of the other two cultists as they are attacked by Eastrid as you exit this control room and go down the stairs. You are able to make your way back out. You see that there are the internal defenses of this fortress have been activated. There are cultists who have been like pulled into stone with like a stone shape, like it made a hole and pulled them in, and they were partially locked there. And there are one that you see in the distance, like as you get in the courtyard, there is some cultists being chased by something they're perceiving but you're not perceiving, some sort of maybe invisible defense, or maybe some sort of spell that has made them act erratically, but you can make your way to the stables without a problem. You enter into the stables, and what you find there is not what you had hoped. The wyverns are safe. They are fine. They are still penned up. But on the floor, alongside the body of at least 5 cultists is the body of Billy Bob Bones. Sir William Robert Bones, Knight Executioner of Zarkan, lies before you. His rapier still, as much as a dead body can hold on to something, it's still in his hand. Mortal wounds all over his body, stabs and slashes. The feather is draped across a pool of blood. Fen, you look at this body and you see feet walk before you. Raw leather boots of fur, almost like a trapper would wear. You look up and there is a man in front of you with the skeletal head of a massive elk. You know instantly who this is. You may call him Vergus, but here in the north, he is called Wergen. And this is the form he bears in this land. And you know the promise you made. And you feel the pressure of that promise, a divine pressure, emanate from Wergen. He does not speak to you.
I will make sure he's buried in the honor of Vergus and of Wergen. Fen is going to kneel down next to Billy. He's going to open up Billy's palm and puts her cleansing stone in it, and is just going to turn his hand over, not curing any wounds, but taking care of his clothes and giving him some semblance of his wonderful looks back. And she's going to correct the feather and make sure it's just the direction he would always wear it.
The blood dissipates from it. The clothes aren't just cleaned. Your magic is a little bit stronger than that. The clothes mend themselves. Almost as you find yourself in the mindset of one preparing a body to rest finally. You want their clean clothes. You want to know that they look the way that they would want to look. And Billy was a man who always looked his best.
Remind me, Mal, where did Billy say where he wanted to be buried? I know it wasn't returning him to his home necessarily.
He did not say. He just asked you to bury him in the proper fashion. You always got the sense that Billy called Zarkan home, but he knew one day his body would fall wherever he stood. And that was okay with him. He was a knight. He was a warrior. You always got that sense from him. That one day he might be buried in the battlefield, and that's okay with him.
we not have magic to bring him back? Is there nothing we can do?
Then you are doing this, and you see that you didn't even notice at first, but Elric, just sobbing, is at your side, touching Billy, and you can see Elric's hands glow with the red hot fire of the forge from the god that he worships, trying to push healing, trying to do something to bring Billy back. He says, "Sir, no."
Elric, even if he still had some semblance of the life he had in him, our healing magics were going to do nothing for him. He was undead. If anything, healing would be worse for him. We can't bury him here, but I can take him with me on a wyvern. If I have your help, Grief, you seem to be fairly good with creatures.
Yeah, of course.
And I can get him somewhere, and I'll meet you on the ground.
This entire time, Torsten knows body, swore under his breath, and immediately kind of compartmentalized that and just started freeing the wyverns.
You unleash the wyverns. Each one kind of will. You take off the bridles of the ones you are going to let go, the ones that you cannot fly out of here yourselves, and they crawl out, and they seem to understand that they are free to fly around at the very least. So they will make their way out of the stables and kind of fly around the courtyard.
Yeah, kind of faded in the background. He's just kind of escorting them out like a horse. So then, yeah,
and they'll like take off and fly up into the air. You prepare to fly. The plan, as I understand it, is to take these wyverns and fly off with them. Grief, what do you do?
I will help load up Billy's body for Fen, and then I will grab a wyvern for myself. We'll probably have to get out of the chair and fold it up and figure that out, but it's not the first time I've had to do that, so.
Yeah, you almost like you get yourself onto the wyvern. In fact, like you kind of take some of the excess rope and leather in here and almost tie the chair to your back as you're on this wyvern. You're strong enough to do that, even as you hold the limp body of your patron and friend. And as the time you've taken here comes, you have prepared the wyverns, you begin to take off. You see that the fortress has become low. You can feel the air thickening again. You can see some of the peaks of mountain ranges peak up above the wall. You know that time is running short. And you take off into the sky. The fortress keeps flying away from you and this snowy mountain range. And you see it as you keep flying in the distance crash into the side of a mountain. The snow and ice on this mountain become an avalanche. You see it roll into the valleys below.
Ben
You're
will
in. Go ahead.
stay in the air with with her wyvern and with Billy for a little while, just as sunset. It's always important for followers of Vergus to see one last sunset.
You keep flying. You don't know how long it is. That's not what's on your mind. The sun begins to get low in the sky. The mountains below you becoming blue, purples, oranges. As you watch the sun dip below the range, and as the first star of the night begins to poke out in the horizon, eventually you will have to land. The wyvern can't hold you forever. It needs to rest.
Once the sunset has begun, and for 5 minutes more, she will take the wyvern down to where everyone else had already headed, find ground.
You find ground. You are still well above the tree line in this range. It is rocky, it is icy, it is cold. But the wind is calm tonight. A peaceful reprieve. You all land. You see that there is a rocky outcropping, and you see that skeletal elk just staring at you. The hand not pointing, but with palm open, pointing to this bank of snow. It's in the distance, easily 100 feet from you.
Ben will pick up Billy and carry him to the bank of snow.
Torsten, sorry.
Okay.
Torsten will follow shortly behind, kind of having to silently communicate whatever help you need.
Being a follower of Worgen and Vergus, the harvest is so important. Life for life, the cycle. It's important that we clear some ground so that come spring, he will help the ground grow.
Torsten will we'll grab a couple of torches to kind of help heat up the ground, clear out some snow, make him easier to bury.
Worgen's, yeah, you start clearing the ground. There's not much soil here. You don't This is such a shallow place to be buried. But you hear, Fen, you hear the words of Wergen. He says, "My child, I wear many faces for many people. Here, in Zarkan, I am the face of the harvest. I am the field laid fallow. I am the fresh grave. But here I am the corpse made signpost. I am the skeleton that shows you the way. Billy has served me well, and he will serve to save others, and when I will call to him again, do not fear. Grieve, but do not be sad. He lived a long life, and he loved you dearly. Bury him in the snow.
I understand. And Fen will, once they've got a clearing, gather, instructing others as well to gather up the snow. Before we begin to bury him, I think it's important that we say a few words. Billy was very important to all of us. And just as the harvest, his life will give life to others. I invite you all at this time to say one detail, give one offering of how Billy helped you grow as a person, as his tradition. And I can begin, of course. Billy gave me a purpose greater than my own. I was so laser focused on one thing that I didn't see anything else in front of me until Billy came along with that dragon egg and changed everything for me. And I have grown so much because of Billy.
I'm no stranger to loss, and after my first loss of this scale, I began the work that Billy was supporting, and his purpose was that nothing like what happened to my home would happen to anyone again, that the people caring for their community, for the land, would be safe. And Billy is a welcome addition to the list of people whose deaths are motivating this work.
He was a kind and genuine soul and will not be forgotten.
My name changed from bliss to grief when I lost my wife and child. I will hold this name longer because of Billy.
Ulrich will step up and he will basically just sit in the snow. And he says, would it ever fucking got out of brambles? Would be still making horseshoes right now? If this idiot hadn't walked in and with a stupid dragon egg. God, you were a moron, but you were so good. Sleep well, my friend.
Billy, you now know how much you've meant to us, how much we have grown because of you. From your life, new life. From your growth, new growth. You may begin to cover him, and Fen will start shoving snow over the body.
Safe to say we all join in.
Absolutely.
You all begin to pile on the snow. And you stay here for the night. You set up your tents. You begin to rest. The stars are so bright here. It's almost like nothing else can go wrong here. Everything's peaceful and quiet. And for tonight, that has to be enough. And with that, I think we're going to end our session there. Oh, thank you, everyone who has come to watch us. Let's go ahead and do our outros. We'll start with you, Levi.
Hey everybody, I am Levi. You can find me at LikeTheJeans at bluesky.social. You can find my design work at I finally got the branding aligned like the jeans at .ish.io. I believe there's underscores on that one. Not a whole lot of work at the moment, but stay tuned.
Silver.
Hi, everybody. I'm Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as over on YouTube. We just started doing Capes and Caverns, which is a first of all, we did a superhero D&D whole thing on YouTube. You can find it, but we're making it into a podcast. Come listen to it. It's got music over top of it. It's a beautiful retelling of just a listen. There's a platypus. He's in a tech suit. There's a mole person who's obsessed with the one true god Arendelle. There's so it's just a delight. So come out, listen to it. You can find it wherever good podcasts are sold. And by that I mean free. Anyway, that's me.
Tara.
Hi, you can find me most Sundays playing this game at 7:30 PST PM.
Fantastic. Jaden.
Hey friends, I'm Soliloquy Jaden. I've been crying for the last 20 minutes. You can find me everywhere online as FatSapphicBro. I mostly hang out on TikTok, make a variety of content. Feel free to follow me if you want to. This isn't supposed to be our crying game. Our crying game is Tuesdays, 6 to 9 p.m. for Girl by Moonlight. We're here Mondays, 6 to 9 p.m. for our modern magic fantasy game. Sundays, 7:30 to 9:30, as you know, here for Era of the Dragons. All the details are in the announcements, not the last 7 days of each month. My brain is jumbled. I'm so sad now.
And I'm Archangelic. You can find me here at all the times Soliloquy said in the announcements. You can also find many links for me on my website, archangelic.space. I do professional GMing. You can book me on startplaying.games/GM/archangelic. I have some games open, including a mothership one shot next Sunday. Please come by and do that. The details were in the announcements as well. Sorry about that. If you missed any of our games, you can check them on YouTube. The link is in the link tree and it's in our channel description. We have a podcast version of this game. You can search up Era of the Dragons wherever you find podcasts, or Lantern Light Adventures if you want to listen to our other games. We will be going into our Patreon supported after show shortly. You can find those at patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. The after show is always free, but your support would mean the world to us. Thank you to you players for being here. Thank you for our audience for joining us. And lastly, thank you to our producer, Polly, guys, for helping us stream this show. We appreciate you and we could not do it without you. And with that, as always, we love you and we hope to see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Hey.